Evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of the TDD show. And tonight I have Dean Barton, Masters of the Trade, as you may know him on Instagram. He is on here tonight, and we're going to talk all sorts about Dean and business, which he talks about quite a lot. How you, mate? You doing well?
Good, Tony. Thank you, mate. Thank you for having me on. That was
pleasure, mate.
Blown away by the intro there. That's a lot more professional than my old shit, mate.
How is things then, buddy? You're right, because I said you're doing a lot on Instagram and stuff at the minute, aren't you? So
yeah, really good, mate. That? Really good. Yeah, it's been a bit of a learning curve actually, the whole social media thing, because I've sort of ignored it for a long time. Just because, well, one, I don't really like showing my personal life, which I don't use that for the page now.
Yeah.
Quite a private person, if I'm being honest. But two, didn't really need it for the businesses that I've been in today. But the power of network and knowing as many people as you can creates as many opportunities as you like. Mm-hmm. So really just got in with it really, and it's grown quite quick the last sort of 6 months really.
So what was those businesses initially you started off with? Because I know you said you started doing within the building industry. You had your own construction.
Yes, mate. Yeah, I've done it my whole life. So just fell into it like a lot of people do from school. Wanted to earn a few quid, and building sites attracted me because you always got paid cash envelopes on a Friday.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money then, but you thought it was a lot of money, and it was a lot more than other people earned. And £50 notes was just fucking incredible. So you went with it, and knew a lot of people in the industry. So it wasn't really with any thought. You just did it. Always a grafter, always willing just to crack on, get it done. Learnt the old school way, never ever hire anything or any equipment to help you. It was manual labour, back breaking, don't stop, shut up. That mentality of older men. But you see them and they're just absolutely bollocksed and destroyed and skint. And it was like, well, it's not really where I want to go.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on from there slightly, the guy I was working for at the time, he wanted to hang his boots up. Funny enough, he moved down close your way, like Cornwall way.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He retired. I was a young buck, just a fucking kid, really. And I had the relationship with all the subbies, the Sparky, the plasterers, the brickies. And I was like, well, I might as well just do what he was doing. And then started pricing work and doing jobs, and then became the gaffer, really, if you like.
So you took over from his business?
Well, different company, but the thing is, it wasn't really about your business name back then. I don't know about your experience. It was just always about, well, you're a builder and you work in the pub. You don't work in the pub, but you're always in a pub and people know you. And you get work.
Yeah, just word of mouth.
Yeah, it wasn't really about the name. The guy I worked for, Graham, he didn't even have a name. It was just Graham's Building. And, very, very old school. Yeah, very old school. But when you know people in a village, in a small city location, you're never really short of work when you're good. And that's the thing with construction.
Yeah. So obviously you took it from that point there, and then you said obviously you left that situation. You went into be an ops director, didn't you? You talk about that.
So we were chatting offline, and I think this is really important to talk about because, in my experience, it's not spoken about a lot. Is that I fell into it and I made all the fucking mistakes that some people, unfortunately, are still making when they're 40, 50 years old, because you're not shown the business really and the responsibility and the weight that comes with running a construction company. One, you're taking on a big financial burden if someone doesn't pay you, or you've got your prices wrong and you're fucked and you've underestimated it.
100%, yeah.
Two, the health and safety and the responsibility of lads under your wing. You don't really give a fuck about that when you're young. You don't think about it.
I do.
I was doing all the stupid stuff. You'd be on ladders you shouldn't be on too high, hanging off steels, cutting them with an angle grinder to get the job done. You never taught any of this stuff. And I got to the point now, I was just Googling prices, fudging it, just how I'd learned from all the old guys.
How much per square meter to do this job?
Yeah, fucking hell. And obviously, every extension's different. Depending on what footing you've got, what build up, single story, double story, whatever. There's all different variables, isn't there?
Yeah.
And you just get to the end of the job, and some jobs you've made some good money on, and others you're like, well, I don't really know. And it just absolute a shambles and a mess, really. Don't get me wrong, I was doing okay, but you start to learn that I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you could have been doing a lot better. Like
Oh
you
yeah,
doing the job, weren't looking at the numbers or anything, but basically just going from job to job and thinking,
massively,
oh, I made a little bit of money left in the bank there. Ideal.
massively,
Sometimes, like you said a minute ago, you do another job and you're thinking, well, where the fuck's the money there? I've made
exactly. Yeah, and you know, I was doing all of it, mate. It was writing figures down on bits of cardboard or bits of timber with a shopping list on as well. The shit you need to go and buy. You know, just an
yeah,
absolute shambles from a business perspective. And then similar a couple of years after, I did that for about 4 or 5 years, and then two of my older friends, they had a commercial contracting business, and they were doing really well, older than me, way more experienced. They wanted to sort of get away from it, and they wanted some young blood in. And the businessman in me just said, well, actually, I'm better off being part of a bigger ship. I can learn, and I could doing the numbers and what margins they were earning. That's when I started learning about profit margins and actual profit. I'd actually be able to earn more money being part of that as well.
yeah, definitely.
And I'll tell you what as well, construction's a team sport.
Yeah,
It's a lonely place being on your own, doing it all just you. You know, if you haven't got a number two you can rely on.
you have all the stress and all the weight on your shoulders, don't you? Because you're thinking,
Massively.
I've got to organise this, I've got to go price all this, and then I've got to go do the work, and then I've got to come home and try and do stuff with the family, see people, and then you're just bombarded with absolute loads of stuff, aren't you?
Massively. And it's made worse when you don't know what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
So it just escalates all the problems.
But then a lot of people just keep plodding along and don't know any different or don't see any progression, do they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I know loads of them, mate. You probably do as well. You know, 50-year-old sitting in the pub.
Yeah.
Every day, that's all they've got is a pint to drown their sorrows and have a shit, depressed life, which that's not what I wanted.
What's the point of that? Especially at that age, because we all know how hard the construction industry is and how hard bearing it is on your body.
Yeah, massively.
You want to be at that age with at least some pocket money behind you.
Definitely. It should be rewarding enough. And that's the thing. Anyone in business, you should get a reward out of it. And you know, if you're not making money, something's wrong. You've got to make money out of it. Yes, there's a passion side. You've got to love what you do.
Yeah.
You've got to make a few quid as well, so your life's sorted.
You have to, yeah. You got people to look after as well as yourself. You?
Exactly, 100%, mate. 100%.
So I was talking about this earlier on a video we have coming up. So I was saying about the standard day rate we all know. Everyone thinks, oh, brilliant. If you're a business owner, if you're just a normal subcontractor or whatever, that's fine. But for a business owner on a day rate, it's shite because you're thinking, happy days, I'm on just say 200 quid a day. Lovely, jubbly. But then you're not thinking about all the overheads and everything else that you've got to do and all the extra work you've got to put in.
Yeah.
You don't think about all those things, do you?
100%, mate. And I'll tell you what, there'll be a lot of smaller business owners that might be listening to this. You actually worked out all their time spent on all the thinking of stuff, going backwards and forwards with a customer, and then what they're actually earning. A lot of the time, it's less than what you could earn in fucking Tesco's.
Mate, you literally, 100%.
And that's the reality. And people need to wake up a little bit and go, hold on, I don't know what I'm fucking doing.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is us blokes, let alone just being blokes, being construction, we've all got egos, we've all got pride.
Yeah, that's it. No one wants to ask for any help or anything.
It's the hardest thing in the world to ask for help, but it's the most smartest thing you can do from the right ways.
Yeah, so obviously you said that, obviously speaking before the show come on, you do stuff like that in the background, don't you? So you do offer things. Can you talk about that then, bud?
Yeah, so it just happened, mate, to be honest, because I went on the stories once on Instagram, and because someone just kept asking me, how do you price work? And I said, profit margin. Just dropped it in quite a flippant, loose comment.
Yeah. And
then I got loads of messages going, well, hold on, what's that? Never heard that before. You're like, what? How the fuck don't you know that?
Yeah.
Just, you don't know, right? Started explaining it to people, and there's so many messages coming through going, oh, can you help me with that? Can you help me with that? And I was like, well, it's not really what I do. Do you know what I mean? But the thing of it is, I said to you offline, is that I didn't have any help when I was younger. And if I did, I could have got places a lot quicker if I'd have just known some fundamental stuff. And I thought, you know what, I will. And I took a couple of phone calls with some people, and they were like, yeah, great. I mean, I said, this is how I work. I'm not, I'm not someone who just wants to take your money. I don't want to just have loads and loads of people signed up to a fucking guru program or whatever, which I'm sure we'll get onto about the state of stuff at the minute, online marketing and all that. So I'll tell you what to do, but you've got to go and do it, and that's the deal. And you know, some people have said, yeah, that's great for them, and you know, they've had a really good result. So it's quite nice to be able to see, mate. To be honest, as well, it's good, like for fulfilling thing to be able to do that.
Helping other people learn from the mistakes that you've made previously and give them the advice, isn't it, to progress for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. It's shortcut. It takes the time out of it. You know, some people never learn, but if you can take a couple of years out of learning the wrong things, what not to do, you fucking hell, it just makes your life so much easier.
Oh, mate, yeah, 100%. So I've only just recently, well, I'll say within the last year, learned about all this, mate. Because before that, you don't. I said I didn't know anything about that. Yeah, so I've only recently started looking at, like, watching people like yourself and a few other people. You start thinking, so they're on about the numbers and stuff here. I need to start looking into it more myself because, like I said earlier, just doing one job, going to the next, I wasn't even thinking about the numbers. I was just going, oh, happy days. I've got 10 jobs in this month or whatever, just cracking them out and not thinking about the numbers and stuff, which is so important because that's how so many small businesses go under, isn't it?
Yeah, all the time, mate. Cash is king. And, you know, who gives a fuck about revenue if there's no money in it?
Oh, that's it, yeah.
It doesn't matter. You can turn over 10 million quid a year if you want, but if you don't make any money, who's better off? It's pointless. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of people run their companies. Some of them are just fixated on winning the work. And you're on this fucking hamster wheel.
Yeah, you are.
You can never get off. You can never get off.
Yeah, everything you're saying there is true, like I said, because I've been there myself, so I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to talk to people like yourself and try and get this advice out to people. Like I said, I'm going to soon on our YouTube channel, we're going to be covering business videos as well, just trying to help other people because we want to help out as many people as possible.
Like yourself, we should collaborate, mate. We'll do some stuff together, definitely.
100%, buddy. Yeah, I said it's important. Like we were talking before we come on live here. It's important to get the word out to other people, isn't it?
Exactly, 100%.
So what's your goals then, buddy? What's your goals with taking either yourself or Masters of the Trade? Where do you want to like see yourself going?
To be honest, mate, I'm in a good position in life where I'm set up. I've done okay, right? Yeah. That's not me like bragging or anything like that. But I'm set up.
Yeah.
I do my bits. I've invested in a couple of other bits. I've got some properties. I'm okay. But what I would like to do is if I can help some other business owners grow and that creates an opportunity to then maybe invest or join and do something like that, that's great. That's what I'm all about now. I want to do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of creating like some massive thing, no, that's not what I want to do. I would rather give all of the good stuff I've got to people that need it, and I don't take money for it because it doesn't change my life. Whereas the younger lot, if I could just have some readily available, good, honest help that's not bollocks and actually moves the needle for them, then great. Because in 2 years' time, I'm a long-term person. And this is the whole thing of growing more of a social media presence, is that in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, someone listening to this might be like, do you know, I've got this idea, or I've got this business. Do you want to do something with it?
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking right now. So that's really my motivation behind it, mate, is more getting known and just creating good relationships with people. And that's it, really.
Yeah, good. So I see Matt Grayson here saying, could I have a link? I've either myself, Matt, you can go on our YouTube, TDD Construction and Education, or you can head over to Dean on Instagram, Masters of the Trade.
Yeah, cool.
Anything on there, buddy? All right. So any help you need, mate, message one of us too, and we'll give you any advice you need.
Yeah, 100%.
So I said, mate, we were talking a minute ago. You're doing the London Marathon soon, aren't you? So was it?
Yeah, mate. Fucking, I fucking signed up for it, to be honest. It's a bit of a silly one, mate. It's an anniversary. 10 years ago, me and a bunch of lads did this thing called an Ironman triathlon.
Yeah.
Which is like a really mentally challenging long event. So we said, look, I want to do. Where was it?
Yeah.
It was in Austria.
Oh,
and it's fucking brutal, mate. It is mad. I'm trying to remember the distances. 2.4 mile swim, which I cannot swim at all. Like, I'm fucking awful. 112-mile bike rides and then a full marathon at the end, 26.2 miles. So I did it. It's 11 hours 20 it took me to do it. Non-stop, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And to be honest, mate,
you were like John Wayne after that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know, mate. Yeah, it's proper. It was
Yeah.
mad. But I tell you what, mate, it's a mass start as well. So when you're lined up on a beach, it's 2,000 people all in wetsuits with goggles on, look like fucking weirdos. And mate, it's literally whistle, go.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, mate, for an hour and a half swimming, weren't left alone the whole time.
Yeah.
So when you don't like swimming, you've got people punching you in the face and that.
Yeah,
mate, it's grim. But the reason I did it, mate, was that, you know, test yourself and push your boundaries in your mindset and that, and that's what I did.
So was it mainly just testing yourself? Was it doing that then?
Yeah, and to be honest, mate, there was a lot of key good people doing it that I wanted to create a relationship with.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a fucking mad way to create relationships, but we said this offline, right?
Yeah.
How important relationships are in life, which is, again, you know, that's what I said I'm doing with this social media, build more relationships with people. People don't fully get how important relationships are. And in business, you only need 2 or 3 of the right ones and you can fucking smash it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all it is. Like when you remove all the noise of tactics or strategies to win work or whatever, ultimately it's going to come down to 2 or 3 really good key people for you, whether that's architects, if you're in residential new builds and stuff, or it's estate agents for you because you do maintenance side, or it's factories, it's warehouses, or whatever it is, it's always going to come back to people.
Yeah.
And that was something I learned very early on, and there was some key people doing that, and I thought, fuck me, what a great way, because I get to spend 6 months training with them 4 or 5 times a week.
That's it, mate. Yeah, like I said, it's thinking about what industry you're in, what area you're covering, and then thinking of the different niches or people you can network with. So when we meet, we say by network, guys, is basically contacts. So, you know, I spoke to Dean about coming on today to do stuff. It's just basically expanding your connections with other people, using social media to get those links and connections, and it does really help, because you don't know, like you said, Dean, you know, you could meet someone and that could take that connection into a load of extra work, or it could take you onto something completely different you wouldn't even
100%.
think about.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, people always say, like, oh, some people are lucky and all this type of stuff, right? But you've got to put yourself out there. It's the only way people get to know you. Like, people are looking for, like, the quick fix or the quick winner. You've got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, people aren't willing to do that. And then, I don't know about you, but I spoke to a lot of people on the phone about their businesses, and I've told them, you need to go and get a job because it's not for you.
Yeah.
And some people take this the wrong way, right? But that's because I'm genuine. I've got nothing to gain.
Yeah.
That some people want it all by sitting at home, fucking picking their nose and sitting in their pants. And it don't happen.
Playing computer games and just watching telly and stuff. It doesn't
mate. It's mad. And I'll tell you what, right? I had a guy I spoke to before Christmas, and he was fucking livid that I said that to him. He was fuming. But you know what? He messaged me the other day and he said, do you know what? Thank you. That was a kick up the arse I needed.
Some people need, that's all they need, isn't it? Some people.
Yeah. And, you know, when we were speaking offline, mate, about saying about the good and bad side of social media, there's a lot of bollocks out there.
There is, yeah.
Not everyone's got your best interests at heart. Yeah. And not everyone's got your best interests at heart. Mm-hmm. And I think we're losing a bit of like realism of people actually just saying it how it is. And that's how I've always been. And it's not, I don't find it very common. I don't know about you. It's not, mate.
So like you were saying a minute ago about you doing the Ironman and the London Marathon, etc. That is a mindset to do that. So you obviously, can you talk about the mindset that you have that you've taken into your businesses then? Because I said, I talk about a mindset a lot.
Yeah.
And I know some people that have or are in business don't have the same mentality or mindset like me and you have.
Yeah, it's, when I say this, right, mindset is fucking everything. And, you know, some people can put this in a box and go, oh, you're chatting all like fucking hippie shit and all this, but it ain't like that, right? I'm a normal geezer bloke like you and a lot of construction people.
Yeah.
But you see people with their heads wobble and they don't achieve, and it's all in your head. Like, you can do whatever you want to a reason of natural ability. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course.
Not everyone's going to be, ultra successful like the next Jeff Bezos, because it just doesn't happen. That's realistic. But you can achieve some really great things in your life, and it's all going to start with a mindset. And the key thing with it is, if you haven't got the initial bit of drive in you, nothing will work for you.
No, 100%.
And I think a lot of people are looking for a solution from someone else to solve all their problem. Like, you've got to have a bit of own drive to the table. You've got to bring that to the table, step one. But if you have got a bit of drive and ambition, if you're willing to work on yourself and always learn, you can just go up in the levels. And I'm always learning now. Like, every day is a school day.
100%, mate. If you're not willing to learn and adapt the way you do things, you're never going to progress. You're going to be stagnant, and you're just going to stay where you are, just down there plodding. Basically, I always like to say about plodding, because that's all it is, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah. And comfort is the enemy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people they're just too comfortable. It's like, in the world of construction and smaller businesses, you might get one invoice paid and you've got a few quid in the bank and you think, oh, we're all right now.
Yeah.
It's not the way to operate. You've got to be switched on all the time. And I think that they're very closely linked between working physically, as in pushing yourself. It develops the mental side, and that they work together as a pair.
Yeah.
So if you really want to find out who you are and what you've got about yourself, set yourself a fucking challenge and do or die. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, really test yourself. We're all going to have low points and we're all going to have shit times. It's how you come out of those situations. Either you come off better off, or you just basically stay low down again. Yeah,
100%. And I think, especially in business, everyone sees the upside. They see the nice cars, the house.
Yeah.
This is the successful people.
Oh, right? It's right for him.
Yeah, exactly. But they're only seeing that result. They're not seeing what it took to get there. And business is fucking tough. Like, you will have things come up that you never even saw from people you never expected to happen.
Yeah.
The bigger you get, the more you do it. It's a minefield, and you're shooting and fighting every day.
100%.
And as a business owner, you've just got to decide which shots to take, move, jab, left hook, And
that's all part of the training, isn't it?
Yeah, and it never goes anywhere, mate. You never reach a position of like tranquility and like you're sitting drinking like on hemp juice and all this shit and relax. It don't happen. No.
I said I don't know about you, but I always set myself a goal. If I reach that goal, I don't really reward myself. I'm just like, right, next goal.
Yeah.
Got there now. Next one. I've got to keep going. I'm never happy. I'm always pushing, trying to push myself.
Yeah.
I think you're also similar to me like that, aren't you?
Yeah, was like that. And do you know what, mate? On that, one thing I learned, because I've worked with a few people as well on this, like mindset people and other mentors and coaches and stuff. I'm a big fan of it because you can learn from other people.
Yeah, I am massively as well.
And one thing that I've learned to do is sometimes when you hit a goal, sometimes it's good just to step back and appreciate that you've done it, and just look over your shoulder a little bit and go, yeah, fuck me, well done, mate.
Yeah.
And then move on, because I used to always just never acknowledge it and then give yourself a hard time all the time.
Yeah, you do, mate, because I spoke about this on last week's show with Rob from MYHP and Lee Anderson.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so he says the exact same thing. You got to take step back. You got to appreciate what you've achieved, and then you can move on from that. But it's hard when if you want to be a successful or a good business, you've got to be, in my eyes, you've got to be obsessed.
Yeah.
To get anywhere, you've got to be obsessed. You've got to be putting in those 12, 16-hour shifts. You've got to be thinking of the next steps. You don't just do one job and go, oh, I've got next 2 months booked up. I'll just leave it out for a minute.
Yeah. Exactly.
You've always got to be thinking in 5 steps ahead, haven't you?
Yeah. Power of focus, mate, because, where energy goes, your attention sort of flows. It all rhymes, that does. But, you see a lot of people that they're trying to juggle too many things too early on. And if you just gave it 100%, you can build a really nice business and just go for it. Do you know what I mean? And just really channeling what you're doing. Again, a bit like the Ironman and the marathon I'm chatting about. It's a set distance. It is where it is. You've got to do it. End of. You're not doing anything else. It's on that day. Work backwards what do I need to do to fucking achieve that, and do it every day. But that's the hardest bit, is doing the shit you need to do every day.
It is. It's just understanding what you've got to do to achieve and
that's where everyone goes wrong, mate. That is exactly where everyone goes wrong, because it's the days that you don't feel like doing it or you're tired.
You got that's again, mate, where the mindset comes in, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and one thing that I've learned, and various different people have said to me, is that you'll only go as far as your personal development. Like, there is a ceiling, or whatever your current level of personal development is now, even like mine, speaking about this, I've got a limit on what I can achieve. So you have to always jump, and then if that's how you are, some people are quite happy getting to a level and just staying there. Fine.
Yeah. If you're happy with that, it doesn't matter, does it? As long as you're happy, that's what we want to achieve.
Exactly. Everyone's got their thing, but again, when you've got drive and you want to push on all the time, you can't turn it off.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can't switch off, can you, mate? That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So like we were talking about a minute ago, me and yourself, we don't really like going on camera talking, but we push ourselves to do it. We've got all this advice, or we want to show people our work. We want to help other people out.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we try and do this, push it out as much as possible.
Exactly.
That's obviously one of the things that drives you as well, to push your masters of the trade on the social.
And I'll tell you why, because I think this will help explain it to people to get their head around it. Because everyone will know, when you were younger, there was always someone who was a bit more successful or had various things going on and stuff like that. But they were the guy at the bar or whatever, and people knew them, and they've always been involved in stuff. I had people like that in my life when I was a lot younger. And the reason they were involved in stuff is because they were a face in the pub.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was back then. But they're only limited to, the people that go in that pub. And you can do very well out of that just by being a face in a pub. Now, flip round, do social media and that, and you grow a following of not a massive one, even what I've got now today. That is what's going to be.
Isn't it, what you've got?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. There's 20,000 people. It's a lot more than you can fit in a pub. You only need one or two of them over the years, and something happens, because that's how it is. People want to work with people, and that's my view on it. So I want more opportunities more than I don't want to be in front of camera.
Yeah, 100%.
So you just do it.
Yeah, that's a similar to mindset to mine, mate.
Yeah,
you just got to put yourself out there to go, because you want to. What I found recently, mate, is doing the social media and the videos, I've secured more work.
Yeah.
So I'm winning more work, because I'm saying, right, just go to our social media. You can see what we're like on a day-to-day basis. You see the work we produce. You can decide for yourself. But then, obviously, when we send our quotations and stuff, you can see the price, and that's what you get from us on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, exactly. Social media is an interactive CV of work.
Yeah.
So any construction company, whether you're a plumber, electrician, whatever, if you're findable and you look trustworthy, people are going to choose you, because the reality is, people Google everyone.
100%.
No one does not Google someone before they do anything with them. That's the way the world is now.
Yeah.
And people aren't getting it now, that if you're not on this type of stuff and doing what we're doing and that, and showing your face, you're going to get left behind. You're going to get left behind. Whether it's in 6 months' time, a year's time, and everyone's chatting about things like recessions and tougher times. More people that know you, more people that can buy from you. Simple fact.
That is it, mate. Again, networking.
Simple fact.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the people that can't be asked, at some point you're going to be left behind.
Yeah, and they'll be the first ones to start slowing down on work as well.
Yeah, exactly. And customers want to see who's doing it. From a customer's perspective, you're all residential work, aren't you? If you're
we do a little bit of commercial recently as well now.
You do a bit of commercial as well. But if you're doing 100 residential on someone's house, right? That's the biggest purchase they'll probably likely ever make in their lifetime.
Of course, yeah.
And they're probably refinancing the house to do that, because not a lot of people have got 100 grand cash on the hip.
No.
So if they can see you and trust you, and you're the obvious choice, the price actually isn't the main buying criteria of someone.
Yeah.
if your company is the dons, the boys that are there, even if you're slightly more money, people will feel more comfortable going with you because you're a trusted brand.
100%. So that's what I'm trying to do, is turn TDD Construction into more of a brand as well.
Yeah.
That's the goal as well. So what I've started doing recently as well is, so when I go meet a client, I'll turn around and I'll ask them, what are you after from a builder or construction company? What are the main key points you want?
Good question.
And then basically I'll just be quiet. I'll listen to what they're saying. It'll be, we want someone reliable, we want someone trustworthy, we want someone that's honest, we want good work. You just listen to all these key points.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell yourself as a salesman would. Said, oh yeah, we do all of them straight away. You just listen to what the customer says, and then at the end of it, you say, well, we can deliver on all these points, but our prices come back, and that's what covers all of that. That whole package is what you get from us within our price. Not we're not going to be the cheapest. You get all of that as a nice bundle. That's what I found seemed to help recently as well.
It's a good question, because the 1970s, like DFS style, car showroom style, people of just speaking at people, pushing.
Yeah, that's it.
That does not work these days. It used to just push people in the corner, but people are really savvy these days, and they know they can smell shit.
Yeah.
And I'm very similar, mate. I've always had a similar question, is going, well, this is likely to be a lot of money in the region of X, whatever the type of work is.
Yeah.
And you say, what's most important to you? And that's such a great opening, leading question for them to confirm, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal to them, and people don't appreciate. Whilst you're not being a sleazy salesman, you're being a salesman that's helping the customer.
Yeah, like you say, because it's a lot of
building
money,
a relationship,
more money than they're ever going to spend anywhere else.
Yeah, it's big. It's big, mate. It's big.
So, Matt's saying here, put yourself out there, learn from being in uncomfortable places and not sit to the same shit you used to. Yeah, 100%, mate. That's what you got to do to get your growth, Matt. That's what I said myself. I've only started doing the socials from October, I think it was. That's that. You got to do these things to put yourself out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll start to Google reviews. Yeah, they are, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, it's trust.
Like we were talking a minute ago, wasn't it? People are going to Google you. So if you've got Google reviews, it's going to help, because in your local area, Matt, where you work, people are going to search they're going to search scaffolders, and if you're the one with the highest reviews, like in our area, I'm the one with the highest reviews, because I always ask clients, you leave us a review, and always just trying to leave a positive review or your personal review, what you think about how we work. It relays that message to new clients, doesn't it?
Definitely, you win basically. Customers are looking for reasons to buy from you and not to buy from you. So if your competition's got more reviews than you lose a point.
Yeah.
If their website's better than you lose a point. If their social media is better than you lose a point.
Yeah, 100%.
It's all these little bits that add up, and it's no different to the actual building game, is it? It's about having the best foundations and all the detail that makes the job nice.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Definitely, mate. I said, because I remember when I first started out 8 years ago, you go on My Builder. You look on there, and you've got Tom, Dick, and Harry's got 100 reviews. So and so's got 70, and there's me or 0. You've got no hope in hell.
Yeah.
Because again, that's how important the reviews are as well for pushing out your company.
Exactly, and the thing is, you've got to start somewhere. So sometimes you've got to eat that bit of shit and work a bit harder to win the work in the beginning, haven't you?
You have to, mate. You have to always work at the beginning. I always say the first 2 years are the shittest period. The hardest, shittest period. If you can get through those first 2 years, you should be on the other side and you should be working well.
Yeah, there's good places to be. From my experience, there was like levels that you get to.
Yeah.
That were like really good. The first one's being like £1 million a year turnover in construction. You get to a place of you're earning a good enough profit and you're running it quite nice.
Yeah.
The next one's actually like 3 million, because then you've got like contract managers, you've got a girl in the office, you've got your life's quite comfortable at that level because you're earning good money and you can afford to pay good staff in the office and you're not doing everything yourself.
That's it. They help run it for you, and you're
yeah, and it's a nice place to be. That is, it really is.
Mate. Yeah, Cam said about recommendations as well. Yeah, 100%. Word of mouth. That's why I got you coming and doing my work, isn't it, mate?
And the thing is, this is my worry when people say they haven't got any work, right? Because most work in construction is repeat or referral.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, if you're not getting repeat or referred work, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And people can either be pissed off or offended about it, but that is just the reality of it. Like, if you do a good job, people ask you back, or they tell their friends they want something doing. If you're in commercial, they just repeat by. The next time they've got a problem, they call you first.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to, it's not just delivering the work. Like, that's a given. The work's got to be fucking good and on time.
100%.
But if you're a communicator and you deliver and you do what you say you're going to do, you will get repeat work. Yeah. Whether it's immediately or it's 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line from that person, you just will.
I think the main points are being honest throughout the project, because you know what it's like being in construction or whatever. It just changes all the time, doesn't it? You have additional work up or whatever, but then also is being clean, leaving the site clean, because that is the last thing they remember. If every night you're going home and it's full of shit everywhere, they're thinking they did a job, but it was just shit everywhere.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing, mate. That's all they care about, and you know what, right? It's always the fucking stupid shit that bites you in the arse.
Yeah, literally. This simplest little thing. I can't be asked to spend 15 minutes to tidy up here. Could ruin you another contract or another job from them recommending you to one of their friends, family.
Exactly. I had a job when I was really young. It was like kitchens, bathrooms, house refurb. The woman was a bit of a ball ache anyway, if I'm being honest.
You get them though, don't you, mate?
You do get them. That's part and parcel of it.
It is, yeah.
But my plasterer had left some splashes on her fucking roses in the garden, and she went fucking tits.
Did she?
Because they were her pride and joy. Yeah. And it ruined it. The whole thing. She delayed payment. She tried to find every excuse. I had to eat humble pie. Explain that we'll clean it, we'll hose it down. It was nothing, but to her, it was the world.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what it is. You've got to respect that it's big to them, even though you think it's stupid. Sometimes you've got to eat some shit and deal with it.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes you've got to eat the humble pie, haven't you? But it is important to try and leave everything nice and clean and tidy, and that's how your work should progress further.
Definitely, 100%. That's what they talk about.
Yeah. So, obviously, when I asked you the questions previously, mate, you said about trying to reach one of your goals is trying to reach 1 million net. That's one of your goals, isn't it?
It is, mate. Yeah, it's a funny one, right? Because some people don't like talking about money and goals and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think it's quite a UK-wide thing. Like, if you go to America, everyone's on it. They're like, what's your goal? All the time. What are you trying to achieve? And it's a lot more like entrepreneurial environment.
Yeah.
And Dubai is the same as well. Dubai is very much like that. It's everyone's like forward, want to grow, build, and do things and support each other. Whereas in the UK, everyone's a bit like, oh, fuck off, knobhead, and all that, quite a down.
It's just a different breed, aren't we?
A shit attitude. Yeah, it's a really bad attitude, right?
It is,
but if you're a business owner, you should be able to speak about this type of stuff and say, this is what I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
And have people around you that can either help you or add to it, So when you asked me that question, I did think, I was like, should I put that in there or not? And I thought, do you know what, I will, because that's what I'm trying to do, right? And it's a big, hard goal, but the thing is, you've got your whole life.
That's it. There's no set time on it.
No, it's not. And the thing I've always found is that whatever goal I've set, I've hit.
Yeah.
Eventually. Sometimes it's taken me a lot longer than I thought it would, but I've got that mindset of I'll make it happen and I'll do whatever it takes to do that. And sometimes just listening to that, it makes it acceptable for other people to start talking about what they're trying to do.
100%.
So that's why, yeah, I said that, mate, to be honest, and thought, fuck it, why not?
Well, I see when you talk about that, mate, I see it as you need to put yourself around the right people.
Yeah.
You put yourself around the wrong people, you're always going to stay stagnant, or you're going to stay down lower end. If you don't set high goals or any goals, and you stay with the people that love to drink all the time, or just seem to waste money or whatever like that, anything like that, they're going to hold you back. You need to put yourself around the right people that got the same similar mindset to yourself. And that's the only way you're trying to achieve your goals.
Yeah. And what I would say that it's all about perspective. One, getting around people that have achieved stuff that you want to achieve, but it's all perspective. Like, if you're 17 and your target's to earn $3,000 a month, that could be a massive goal to you.
Yeah.
But then you get a bit older and you go, well, no, I want to earn 10 grand a month, I want to earn 20 grand a month. It sometimes it's leaps, because sometimes you've got to take those leaps as well, because, let's be sensible about it as well. You're not going to go from 0 to hero in 6 months in a big way. Sometimes you can get a quick little win out of some things, but it's not really long-term sustainable, not going to happen all the time, right? But then every time you do set a goal, you realise that there's other people out there that are doing a fucking shit ton more, and they're no more different to you and I.
Yeah, that's it.
They've set a plan, and they've got the right plan, and they're working towards it, and they'll just fucking drill through it to make it happen. So it is all about perspective, and that's the whole thing again. Like we said earlier, network. If you're hanging around with the right people, it's a cliche thing. People say you're the 5 people you hang around with or spend your time with. It's fucking true.
Yeah, it is. True. Yeah.
The reason you keep popping up and people keep saying it is because it's fucking true.
Yeah. Because you could probably name on one hand actual close friends that actually care and are interested about what you're doing. Everyone else are going to be mainly acquaintances.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
It's understanding that trying to be the hero that's got all the mates under the sun. It just doesn't work, because they don't. Some of these people behind your back, they're gonna slate you. They don't care about what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And that's life. And
it.
To give people an example, I grew up council estate, mate, rough school. A lot of my older mates from school, some of them were inside.
Yeah.
Took the wrong paths. Some of them are earning early 20 grand a year, barely scraping by. But that's cool. That's just is what it is. You have to get around other people, which is exactly what I said about earlier about the Ironman. I did that to get around different people.
Yeah.
And that's when you can really sort of expand your mind and grow. So it's necessity.
Mate. Yeah, like Cam said, he's got no close friends. Similar to myself. I don't know what you're like, mate. But yeah, you literally do everything for your family, don't you? That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
100%. And on that, mate, because again, I don't think this is spoken about enough. I've never felt like I fit in.
Yeah.
And people that hear me saying that will understand it. Like, if you just don't fit in, you just don't fit in. Like, I've never felt comfortable in my social group. Don't get me wrong, I've got some amazing people around me now who are like some big fish as well.
Yeah.
Now I do. I've got those relationships. But being younger, it was like I was in a different place. I've been in the nightclubs with people going, I'm thinking, what am I doing here? What am I doing? It's mad.
Yeah.
But it was before socials. It was before, the whole world was opened up a bit and you can learn from other people and that. And that's what I just find it fascinating about it now. You can be connected to anyone now. It's unbelievable.
Click the click of one button, you can be connected to anyone across the world.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate. Really
and you don't know what you can bring to each other.
Yeah, exactly. And what's nice about it is that the people that do want to level up and grow with you, it's nice having other people pull their socks up as well.
Yeah.
And it's all relative. Do you know what I mean? It's not one person, because a lot of people look at the world like this, like just because you earn more, you're bigger or you're better. It's not. It's bollocks.
Yeah, 100%.
Money's just very one part of it. It's what you can do with the money that's the most important thing. But for me, I've got the most respect for anyone, whether you're a cleaner or a CEO and you're trying to raise a level, and up your game. I've got all the time in the world for that. I'd have a cleaner who's trying to go to the next level around my house for dinner and talk about it. Yeah, I love it.
That's the importance, like I said, what you're trying to do as well, mate. So you're obviously trying to help out people, and you're willing to listen. you know, willing to help. That's the good thing about it.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what, mate? We've opened a can of worms here, right? Is that the truth is your family and friends will lie to you.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to, one, hurt your feelings, and two, that unravel their own insecurities as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's that classic thing. You say to someone, I want to do this, or I want to start a business. I haven't told my family, you know, my extended family, things about my goals, and that's only me and my wife that talk about that.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I know if I tell them, they'll just be like, what the fuck? Like,
they're
not.
Yeah.
They're not that type of people. So you just don't bother telling them.
Yeah.
Because they're just their own insecurities and fears and that, they'll hold you back and that. And again, it's what's good to talk about it. I'm really open and honest. I've got nothing to hide. Sometimes just hearing it through a video, someone watching this, or, you know, even yourself, we don't really know each other. What a good conversation to have, rather than fucking moaning about the fucking electric bill or fucking fish and chips tomorrow night. Bollocks.
Yeah. Change your thought process and try
Total bollocks. Yeah. Really
I said, yeah, Matt, you can message us whenever you want, mate. And I said, me and Dean are always here to help out whenever we can, mate.
Definitely, mate. That's cool.
So before we shoot, mate, I just want to hear can you give us one of your funny stories that's ever happened to you on site?
Oh, fucking hell, mate. It's been a lot. I'll tell you one, right, and this is a bit dirty, so, but sod it, I'll tell you.
It's right. It's like most people now, mate. It's all right. You're all right.
When I was younger, working on a house refurb, I was in the bathroom, right, fully stripped out. The house is completely gutted. There's no toilets around whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, fucking worst time. I need shit. and then you're thinking, oh, fucking hell, what am I going to do here? And it was one of them, mate. It was coming out. Like there was no warning. It was like, I can't even get in the van and drive anywhere. And the only thing I had, mate, was a paint tin. And I'm not ashamed to say, because I know a few people have done it as well, I had to go in the paint tin. So
it was definitely brown after that, then, mate, wasn't it? They were having...
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm still normal, mate, you know.
Yeah, that's the main thing. As long as you're still in touch with your normal side, man.
Exactly.
Right, well, pleasure for having you on tonight, mate. Before you go, can you just tell people where they can find you on socials and what platforms?
Yeah, cool. Likewise, mate. So Masters of the Trades on Instagram is the main sort of handle. That's the only sort of platform I've got up and running, apart from YouTube as well, which is Dean Barton Real, which has got podcast on it, similar to yourself. I'll have to get you on mine, mate, as well. You can come on mine and we'll flip the script. And the podcast is cool because it's all like business owners, but I'm trying to do it so it's got a different perspective as well. I've got some like professional people on there. I've got some tradespeople that have got their business and all different stages, so you can all learn from and that. So it's cool. It's really good. So yeah, check that out.
It's good, yeah, helpful for any business owners within construction and stuff, isn't it? Or just business owners in general.
100%, mate. That's what it's all about.
Well, hopefully you enjoyed it all tonight, guys. If you find any help, like I said, message myself or Dean anytime. We will be there to help out wherever we can, all right?
Cool.
So thank you very much, guys. Take care. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, Tony.
Cheers, buddy. Take care, mate.